In favor of the winner, remaining undefeated, proving he is one of the elite champions of the sport.
The fight is over. Canelo gets the knockout.
Deontay Wilder has eradicated Dominic Brazil. He is the...
Yo, you know what this is, man. It's your favorite channel, man, the CTB. This is Chin Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay, one of the hosts. My other co-host, man, he out of town. He's in Vegas right now. Hopefully getting some real good coverage out there of the post-fight. First of all, I'm gonna start by thanking you for watching. To all day one subscribers, again, thank you, man, for continuing to grow with us, watching us grow. And to the new followers, man, we continue to build, continue to grow, man. We just getting started, trust me. We're growing faster than expected, but trust me, we was built for this, and we will continue to bring you guys great boxing knowledge and great boxing talks and a great boxing conversation, man. That's what we strive to do here at CTB, man, just to start a conversation, keep the sport growing. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe to the video, man, once you finish watching it. But yeah, this is the post-fight, man. This is the post-fight from a very interesting card, I would say. I'm not gonna touch too much on the pre-fights. I'll just say that Guerrero beat Ortiz in a, I would say, old school type fight. It was more hugging and in close quarters, and I prefer not to see one of those guys ever again, to be honest. I think those two guys are, I don't want to like to use the word washed up, but I will say those two guys are past their prime, man. I think them two guys should hang it up. While Ortiz is still pretty young and not far off from his prime, he has been through a lot of wars and has been knocked out a lot. And same with Guerrero, man. Guerrero is slightly past his prime, and he's been in a lot of wars, man. And all those wars, you can tell, took a toll to both of these guys. And I wish them nothing but happiness and peace for the rest of their life outside of the sport. But on to the main event, Manny Pacquiao and Ugas. It was a great fight, man. It was a great fight. I was happy to say that I'm wrong, because I chose Manny Pacquiao to win this fight reluctantly, obviously. I was slightly, after I made that video and today when I got up, I was so close, man. I was so close to putting money on the fight. When I saw the odds, man, I was so close, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because I did not do it. But yeah, Ugas was a slight underdog right before the fight started, and I could have won a little bit of money. Not a lot of money, but a little bit of money I could have won. But the fight, man, during the second half of the fight, it went how I thought it would. I thought Manny Pacquiao would slow up in the second half and the end of the fight, and he did. And I knew that Ugas would have started, you know what I'm saying, picking it up at that stage of the fight. And he did, with the right hand, start laying it easier. But what caught me off guard and what surprised me the most was the beginning of the fight, when Pacquiao was, you know what I'm saying, fresh and coming in, hopping wild and throwing punches. Pacquiao could not find his range in this fight, man. He was struggling to find his range. He would throw punches and miss it by inches repeatedly in this fight. He could not get in there. And that, man, I'm gonna be honest, man, that was all Ugas. Pacquiao said his legs was tight and everything in there, but to me, he looked like he was moving like Pacquiao. His head movement was, he didn't have much head movement, which I will give him that. But that comes to like getting older, I guess. But his feet were still quick. He was in and out still quick. He was trying to hit the angles. But the thing is, with Ugas' style, man, and Ugas' length, it wasn't that effective, man. This was a bad pick. I'm gonna be honest, this was a bad pick on short notice. Not so much because of Pacquiao's age, but more so for his inactivity, man. He has not fought in 2 years since he beat Keith Thurman, and it showed, man. I will say this: he better be happy that it wasn't Earl Spence standing in front of him. If Earl Spence was the one standing in front of him, it would have been a better fight. I'm gonna be honest, because like I said, styles make fights, and the Cuban style that Ugas was doing, the in and out movement he was doing, the moving his head slight back, slight out of range, and then changing the defense to go to the high guard, and then throwing the right hand straight, then throwing the right hand looping, and throwing the right hand into the body. The jab is Manny Pacquiao coming in. All that was what gave Manny problems. Earl being a southpaw, I think it would have been a little bit more of a war early in the fight. I think it would have been going a little bit more back and forth early in the fight. Because Earl has a tendency of not moving his feet. He moves his feet well. I put it this way: Earl moves his feet well, but Earl wants to knock. He fights to knock you out. But I think Ugas was trying to fight smart. He was in there boxing smart. I think Earl would have brought the pressure more early in the fight, and that's what Pacquiao wanted. Pacquiao wanted a fighter that's going to bring the pressure more and try to bring him to fight. He would have landed a little bit more punches, I believe, on Earl in the beginning of the fight. But as that fight went on, if that was Earl, I think Earl probably would have stopped him, bro. I think Earl would have stopped him. It was a moment in the last 2 rounds, 11th and 12th round, where I thought Ugas had a chance of stopping Pacquiao, at least dropping him. Maybe not stopping him. I changed my words. He had a chance of dropping Pacquiao. Man, it was kind of funny because the same thing. Damian Lillard he texted in the middle of the fight that the broadcaster was trying to convince people that Pacquiao was winning, and I was looking there like, nah, Pacquiao might wind up getting dropped in this fight. I said that early, like around the second, I think around 2 or 3. I said Pacquiao might wind up getting dropped in this fight because Pacquiao was getting clipped a lot, and the announcers wasn't saying it. Sean Porter was speaking on it, and it was kind of I kind of seen the moment where they tried to shut him down. I kind of got the vibe like they were trying to tell Sean like to calm down a little bit on saying Pacquiao ain't winning, and he kind of tried to change his tone. He tried to say, I'm not going to worry about judging no more. I'm just going to go by what I'm seeing. You hear him kind of saying that, so I kind of made me think somebody was in his ear telling him that you know, like we trying to make a Pacquiao Spence fight, so we trying to make Pacquiao look good for the Prince. That's the vibe I got, but after a while it became too obvious. After a while, man, it was. Even a blind man can see Ugas was having his way in this fight. Pacquiao had no answer, man. Pacquiao, he seemed small in this fight. It was moments where he clipped Ugas, and Ugas took the power pretty well, man. I'm gonna be honest. He took the power. I think I only seen him buckle really once in the fight. I think it was around like 7 or 8. He slightly buckled against the ropes and then spun out of there. And him and Pacquiao looked at each other, whatever. And then he came back to the night round and started clipping Manny up. So it was a great back and forth, man. I just think, break it all down, I just think Ugas was the bad style for Pacquiao. I'm gonna just leave it like that. I don't think Pacquiao was finished. A lot of people are calling for Pacquiao to retire. A lot of them saying he should retire. I saw the Pacquiao I saw in there can give a lot of welterweights issues. Shit, I would prefer to see him. I know he's up there in age, and it might be harder for him to lose that weight, but I would really love to see him at 140, because I see him beating the Rodriguez Prograises and the I would love to see a Josh Taylor fight. I think that would be a great fight also. Would that be favored? Will he be favored in that fight? Probably not, especially after this performance, but I think it would be a great fight, man. Even fighting a Mikey Garcia at this stage, I think would be a great fight, man, because they both have similar styles, I would say. Just Pacquiao has a speed advantage, but they both have that boxer puncher, quick chess match types offensive style, man. So that will be a great fight. I would love to see Pacquiao in those type fights if he chooses to fight. I don't want to see him in there with a Terrence Crawford. I do not want to see him in there with a Earl Spence at this point right now. I wouldn't even want to see him fight Ugas again, I'm gonna be honest. If they even try to talk about a rematch, I would not want to see it. I think Ugas has Pacquiao's number, and I think it will be worse the second time. I'm being honest. It just looked like that type of fight. It looks like, I mean, unless this was the Pacquiao fans, unless the rust was just on Pacquiao so heavy that that's why he looked this bad. Because I think even when the post-fight announcer told him usually we see you with head movement, and you know what I'm saying, usually be more with your head movement and stuff. Pacquiao had a look on his face like, damn, I probably wasn't moving my head. Like, damn. You kind of see, I think once you go back and rewatch this fight, he gonna have epiphany. He gonna either have I should retire epiphany, or he's gonna have I should have had a smaller World Cup fight before I got jumped back in there. I'm not young no more. I can't just go in there for the big wolves. So I'm gonna say this in closing. Earl Spence would have probably hurt Pacquiao. Like I said in our previous videos, go back and watch our previous. Pacquiao fans was only saying Earl was ducking because they did not want to see Pacquiao retire on a bad loss. If Pacquiao would have got in there with Earl Spence tonight, it would have been a horrible loss, man. He would have got dog walked. I'm being honest. Pacquiao would have got dog walked in this fight if he would have fought Earl. The only reason why Ugas didn't do it, really he did. The only reason why Ugas didn't do it more was because it's not Ugas' style. Ugas' style is to make you, like, pretty much he a rough style fighter, but at the same time you got that Cuban style. Like, he sits in the pocket, kind of like the same way Rigondeaux do, just with less footwork. He kind of sit in the pocket and make you barely miss and piece you up with a jab coming in and take your best weapons away from you. Whenever Pacquiao try to spin outside him, whenever Pacquiao try to spin to his right side, he just take that step back and hit that angle on him. And Pacquiao did not know what to do after that. Pacquiao had to reset and try to do something else to get in. Either way, in closing, man, yeah, I don't want to see Pacquiao in there with no top-notch welterweights anymore. He still has a little bit in the tank, I would say. Like I said, I would love to see him in there with the second tier of fighter if he does decide to do it again. But as far as the champions, I think he should hang that up. I'm being honest. But that being said, it's your boy Jay Slay. This is CTB. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Peace.